Lonnie. It's Lonnie with Crafty Traveler. Welcome to my bedroom. Now many people come into my bedroom. Snickers is going to be here with my introduction. Yes, you are. Yes, good boy. This video is going to be about sandwiching a quilt using your bed and a chair. First of all, I want to show you this quilt behind me. It's one of Liz Adams' designs, and it's called Indian Summer, and I'll show you a closer picture of that pattern. Link to her Facebook store. We made it at a quilt retreat a number of years ago. The quilt on my bed I made probably in the mid to late 80s when I was first learning to quilt, and of course log cabin was my first design that I learned, and so this quilt comes on my bed around Christmas time. I hope you enjoy this video. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, click the notification bell, and leave me a comment, and also share with your friends. Okay, let's do it. So, to pin and sandwich a quilt using your bed, it's good to take everything off. I have the mattress pad on, but that's okay. All the sheets and blankets. So I always do it on the laundry day that I'm going to do the sheets and blankets. The first thing is to get the backing fabric ready, and I like to find the center or the middle of the fabric and put a pin in it, and I do it at both ends, and then I lay out the backing fabric the way I want it on the bed. As you can see, this is going to be a big quilt. This is a king-size bed and it's covering it. So after I've got it all smoothed out, then I'm going to lay down the batting. Now the batting is all laid out, I'm going to lay out the top. I also want to find the centers parts of the top by folding it in half. And then I can match it up with the center points that I have marked pinned on the backing fabric. You notice I'm sitting in a chair. This is my usual sewing chair that I'm sitting in, so I don't have to bend over and strain my back. Now I'll show you how the top goes on. I like to put some pins in on the opposite side from where I'm sitting, just to keep things in alignment. So I'm going to pin along this side. I'm using just regular safety pins, but they are non-rust. They're a little larger than those curved ones. I like the larger ones. They're easier to handle. And I've given myself a couple of inches all the way around the quilt to allow for shrinkage when I quilt it. Okay, I've got the quilt laid out with the backing facing down, the batting and the quilt top facing up. I've pinned along the far edge just to kind of keep it in alignment, and I've smoothed it out as best I can. So what I do now is I take my pins, place them where I can get them, and I start pinning along the quilt, holding all three pieces in my hand and feeling underneath where the pin comes out, so I know it's coming out clearly and it's not going to snag on anything underneath that it's not supposed to. Gotta make sure everything's lined up. And we'll go down to this end. Pin. I pin about 8 to 10 inches apart, straightening as I go. Once I've got my first row all pinned, then I roll it and smooth as I go. And then I pull it to help straighten it out, and then I start pinning again. Again, keeping my hand underneath to feel for the pins, as well as to smooth out any wrinkles that might happen. After I've pinned this, I will roll it again. As you can see, I've got it rolled up almost to the center. So it's just a matter of pinning things down and rolling it, pulling it, and rolling it to keep it straight. This is the way I have pinned my quilts together for a number of years. I don't have a long arm. I have a Sweet 16 sit-down quilting machine. For those of you who have long arms, you don't need to worry about this. And I don't get on the floor anymore to pin my quilts. I haven't done it for a number of years. So this is the way I've been doing my quilts. It's less stress on my back, and I'm able to pin the quilts, even a big quilt like this, without wrinkles on the back, which a lot of people have problems with. I'm going to continue pinning it, and I'll show you what happens at the end. This is the quilt pattern that I used for the quilt that I am pinning and sandwiching together. Again, it's another Scottie Dog quilt patterns by Liz Adams. Okay, it's all pinned and in a nice roll that I can put underneath my Sweet 16 and machine free motion quilt it. This took probably about an hour to actually pin together. Preparation for the backing, having to sew the backing together. Luckily enough, my batting was wide enough and long enough. I didn't have to piece my batting. And of course, laying out the top, making sure everything is as smooth as possible. And then actually, when you're going to pin it, your hand is underneath to make sure that there aren't wrinkles in it. and so you don't get wrinkles when you quilt it. This is better than being on the floor, like I said. You don't have to get on the floor and crawl around on your knees. And it's better for your back if you're sitting in a chair and manipulating the quilt by pulling it and rolling it. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did like this video, give me a thumbs up, please. And don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell so you are notified when I do other videos. Share my video to your friends that do quilting and have difficulty getting on and off the floor to sandwich their quilts together. Leave me a comment and let me know how you like this video. I thank you for watching and stay crafty.